Hey, Shalom, Akim Shalom. Giving all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rachakorash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone that taught me this truth. Shalom to the hopeful elect. Shalom. All right, so what we're looking at here is the executive order that Donald Trump signed on April the 28th, 2025. The title says, Strengthening and Unleashing America's Law Enforcement to Pursue Criminals and Protect Innocent Citizens. All right, hey, just the title is menacing. It says, Unleashing. All right, to unleash America's law enforcement, man. Okay, and hey, they're anticipating what's going to happen with these terrorists, man. That's why I believe that they signed this order, man. Okay, and this is also going to introduce Salakia is going to introduce military as well, which we're going to read into it. Okay, so let's go ahead and read it. We're just going to start here, jump right into it. Section 1, Purpose and Policy. It says, safe communities rely on the backbone and heroism of a tough and well-equipped police force. My administration is steadfastly committed to empowering state and local law enforcement to firmly police dangerous criminal behavior and protect innocent citizens. When local leaders demonize law enforcement and impose legal and political handcuffs that make aggressively enforcing the law impossible, crime thrives and innocent citizens and small business owners suffer. Okay, and you got to remember, okay, this devil speaks out of both sides of his mouth. Okay, he has that forked tongue, like the Native Americans said. Okay, the scriptures say he spake as a dragon. Okay, them draconian measures. You could remember Athens, Greece. You had that Draco, all right, who brought harsh laws. Okay, but at the same time, he's gonna bring these harsh laws. He's gonna act like it's to help you. Okay, that's how this devil rolls, man, because he's a liar and a deceiver. Okay, because here he's acting like, okay, the only way to stop crime is law enforcement. Okay, now law enforcement is a part of it, but you got to understand also when you put the squeeze on people, like they're doing with these tariffs, okay, which is why I said this is why he's doing this. Okay, uh, you know, shelves are gonna be empty. Okay, things are gonna be very expensive. Okay, and as we know, we already got inflation. We already got a lot of job losses, people losing their jobs. Okay, people don't have money like that. Okay, and it's going down. People are having less and less money by the day. Rent's going up continually. Okay, and now these tariffs are going to empty out the shelves, and the shelves that are not empty, the price is going to be skyrocketing, man. Okay, so what do you think is going to happen? People are going to turn to crime. Okay, but since this order was already published, okay, people already know, okay, this is the narrative. Okay, people are already Salakia, people are already reading this and saying, okay, this is what it is. He's trying to protect crime or stop crime. And then a lot of people are gonna think that, oh, these people are just bucking up. All right, but really no, what's gonna happen is these tariffs are gonna fuck everything up. And Donald Trump already set up law enforcement to, basically fuck you Jakes up. All right, and this is a racist cop's dream, man, because what they're gonna do is they're gonna take the handcuffs off, man. So it's gonna be shoot first, ask questions later. All right, they're gonna get rid of due process. Things are really gonna intensify with this, man. All right, let's keep going. It says the result will be a law-abiding society in which tenacious law enforcement, right? There's that word tenacious, right? So it's showing the law enforcement is going to be turned up, tending to keep a firm hold on something. Law enforcement officers protect the innocent. Violations of law are not tolerated, and American communities are safely enjoyed by all their citizens again. Okay. Second part says legal defense of law enforcement officers. The Attorney General shall take all appropriate action to create a mechanism to provide legal resources and indemnification. Let's get that indemnification. Compensation for harm or loss to law enforcement officers who unjustly incur expenses and liabilities for actions taken during the performance of their official duties to enforce the laws. So basically, it's giving cops the legal ground to, like I said, fuck you up with no legal repercussions. Okay, because now if they just grab you, you can watch these videos on TikTok all the time or YouTube. You got an officer that's asking somebody, "What are you doing here? I need you to give me ID." And they say, "Well, what probable cause do I have?" Those days are over, man. This shit, they're just gonna grab you up, snatch you up, and you won't be able to sue them anymore. All right. It says this mechanism shall include the use of private sector pro bono assistance for such law enforcement officers. Empowering state and local law enforcement. The Attorney General and other appropriate heads of executive departments and agencies shall take all appropriate action to maximize the use of federal resources to provide new best practices to state and local law enforcement to aggressively police communities against all crimes. And again, remember, the so-called white man can change his laws at any time. So once this thing is implemented, which is, soon you're going to see the effects of this. Basically, they can just create new laws and say, well, now this is a crime, now that is a crime, now this is a crime, and you're just going to have to submit. Okay, that's what's going to happen. It says expand access and improve the quality of training available to state and local law enforcement, increase pay and benefits of law enforcement officers, strengthen and expand legal protections for law enforcement officers. Right, legal protection, okay? So, a racist cop's dream. Seek enhanced sentences for crimes against law enforcement officers. Promote investment in the security and capacity of prisons, and increase the investment in and collection, distribution, and uniformity of crime data across jurisdiction. Within 60 days of the date of this order, the Attorney General shall review all ongoing federal consent decrees, out-of-court agreements, and post-judgment orders to which a state or local law enforcement agency is a party and modify, resign, or move to conclude such measures that unduly impede the performance of law enforcement functions. So it's basically taking all the rules off, man. All right, this is simple. He's taking all the rules off. Okay, law enforcement is going to spice up. Okay, and you can already see a glimpse of this with the ICE raids, man. It's going to be ICE raids, but with law enforcement doing it to everybody. It's not going to matter if you're Northern Kingdom anymore. Southern Kingdom, they're going to come after you too, man. U.S. citizens, don't matter. All right, U.S. national security assets for law and order. Within 90 days of the date of this order, the Attorney General and the Secretary of Defense, in consultation with the Secretary of Homeland Security and the heads of agencies as appropriate, shall increase the provision of excess military and national security assets in local jurisdictions to assist state and local law enforcement. All right, so they're going to use the military now to help the police, and there's going to be no rules, baby. You see? All right, this has Yaiqabs trouble written all over it, man. Martial law written all over it, which I pulled up this headline here. It says Trump's newest executive order unleashes the cops and flirts with martial law. Okay, because it's pretty much what it is. Okay. Right, and it goes into it. Holding police officers accountable when they commit crimes or violate the constitutional rights of those they're allegedly here to serve and protect is one of the most difficult things to do in law. Okay, the police are protected by powerful, well-funded, and well-lawyered unions. They are protected by the judicial doctrine of qualified immunity, which prevents them from being personally sued for monetary damages when they damage or destroy property or lives, right? A lot of officers get away scot-free when they murder a Jake, okay? They're protected by prosecutors and district attorneys, and it keeps going, okay? And basically it's saying now Donald Trump has issued an executive order that will make it even harder. That's the point. To hold cops accountable and flirts blatantly with martial law, named the dystopian strengthening and unleashing America's law enforcement to pursue criminals and protect innocent citizens. All right, and it goes into it. Okay, so yeah, so we come back here. They're going to add the military. They're going to take off a lot of restrictions and a lot of these protections that you citizens think you have. Even what little you have now is taken away. All right. It says, let's see here. Within 90 days of the date of this order, the Secretary of Defense, in coordination with the Attorney General, shall determine how military and national security assets, training, and non-lethal capabilities and personnel can most effectively be utilized to prevent crime. All right, so yeah, they're going to test it out, see what happens, reorganize, regroup, and continue with their agenda. Okay. The fifth part says, holding state and local officials accountable. The Attorney General shall pursue all necessary legal remedies and enforcement measures to enforce the rights of Americans impacted by crime, and shall prioritize prosecution of any applicable violations of federal criminal law with respect to state and local jurisdiction whose officials willfully and unlawfully direct the obstruction of criminal law, included by directly and unlawfully prohibiting law enforcement officers from carrying out duties necessary for public safety and law enforcement, or unlawfully engage in discrimination or civil rights violations under the guise of diversity, equity, and inclusion. Okay, so like he did with the DEI, he took it out of the classroom. You can see the attitude that Trump has against protecting you so-called minorities, man. Okay, he doesn't give a fuck about y'all Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Okay, he's coming down with that hammer. Okay, this is that cruel Lord the scriptures talk about, man. It says initiatives that Salaki, we'll read it again. Unlawfully engage in discrimination or civil rights violations under the guise of diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives that restrict law enforcement activity or endanger citizens. Right, so, hey, they're taking all the handcuffs off, man. Use of Homeland Security Task Forces, right? Again, the military, man. They're bringing in the military, okay? The Attorney General and the Secretary of Homeland Security shall utilize the Homeland Security Task Forces formed in accordance with Executive Order 14159 of January 20, 2025, protecting the American people against invasion, to coordinate and advance the objectives of this order. Okay, you see, so they're bringing in the military. It says nothing in this order shall be construed to impair or otherwise affect the authority granted by law to an executive department or agency or the head thereof, or the functions of the director of the Office of Management and Budget relating to budgetary, administrative, or legislative proposals. It says this order shall be implemented consistent with applicable law and subject to the availability of appropriations. It is not intended to and does not create any right or benefit, substantive or procedural, enforceable at law or in equity by any party against the United States, its departments, agencies, or entities, its officers, employees, or agents, or any other person. The Department of Justice shall provide funding for this order's publication in the Federal Registry. Okay. And I know that was very long-winded, so Salaki for that, but I wanted to go over all of it. Okay. So we can properly see, get the gist of it. It's pretty much, they're bringing in the military. It's pretty much martial law. Okay. And again, gradualism. Okay. Let's get that. Gradualism. Gradualism, a policy of gradual reform rather than sudden change or revolution. Let's get Merriam-Webster dictionary here. Here we go. Let's get dictionary.com. All right, gradualism. The principle or policy of achieving some goal by gradual steps rather than by drastic change. Okay, if they had just straight up declared martial law, there would be a lot more resistance. Okay, but since he's signing an executive order, all right, taking it slow, right, the people are going to stay in that docile state of mind. Okay, and what's going to happen is, all right, we know that they're building these smart cities. They're setting up the MOTB infrastructure. Okay, they got the AI set up. They got the 15-minute cities ready to be set up. Okay, they got all hell getting ready to break loose with these tariffs, hyperinflation getting ready to kick in. They're anticipating some type of revolt. So they got the military, they got the police out there to basically lock people up and force order on the people. Okay, and we also got this fact sheet here, which is going into the same thing, the executive order, but in more readable terms. I'm just going to get the points. It says increase the provision of surplus military assets to support local law enforcement and evaluate their use in crime prevention. It's basically the same thing we saw over here, okay, about the military. But yeah, let's go ahead and let's get some precepts, man. We're gonna go into Second Esdras, and we're gonna start at this chapter 15. We're gonna start at verse 16. It says, "For there shall be sedition among men." Okay, so sedition among men, that's already happening. You know, these TikTok videos and YouTube videos of people saying "F the government," this, that, and the third. They're ruining our lives. You know, so on and so forth. Okay, it says, "And invading one another," right? Because you're gonna have all this hell that's gonna break loose. People gonna invade your houses, steal your food, you know, take your women. Okay, all hell's gonna break loose, man. Okay, it says, "They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power." Right? They're not gonna care what Donald Trump has to say or anybody else, because they're gonna do what they think is best for their survival. Okay, and that's gonna include breaking into houses, you know, shooting each other up on the street, shooting at law enforcement. They're gonna be shooting at law enforcement, man. That's why in this order, you know, it talks about increased punishment against those who attack law enforcement. Why? Because the people are actually gonna fight back. You see, because people are gonna want to eat, and that's the only thing that's gonna motivate these fucking Babylonians to do anything, is the fact that they won't be able to eat, and then they gonna want to fight. Okay, now the people gonna wake the fuck up, but it's too late, man, because the scriptures got to be fulfilled. Okay, the MOTB will be mandated, man, and most of you people are gonna take it. All right, and you know, except for the elect. The elect is not gonna take it, man. All right, but they want to have this military, this police presence. Okay, so they can mandate it. Okay, they got to have this chaos come in. Then, since the people in the chaos, right, they're gonna offer that solution, and that's the MOTB. All right, but during the chaos, you're gonna have the military, the police out here. Okay, and then they're gonna be the ones to mandate the MOTB as well. All right, let's read 2nd Ezra 15:17. "A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able." All right, and for many reasons, you're gonna have uh, chaos breaking forth. You're gonna have fires. You're gonna have checkpoints set up between cities. Right, some cities might be too hectic. You can't go in. Okay, and of course, martial law. Okay, 15-minute cities are gonna be set up. Okay, and you won't be able to leave your city. You're gonna be trapped. Okay, this is what's coming very soon down the pipeline. Okay, it said within the next 90 days they're gonna have military presence out here, helping the police. Okay, it says Isaiah in Salakia. Let's go to Isaiah 19:4. It says, "And the Egyptians will I give over into the hand of a cruel Lord, and a fierce king shall rule over them, saith the Lord Yahweh of hosts." And this is Donald J. Trump, man. Okay, he is this cruel Lord And, the Egyptians represent the Americans, okay? Because this is our current land of captivity, all right? Most of the Israelites are here in America, right? Most of the elect also, okay? And the Egyptians will I give over into the hand of a cruel Lord. That's Donald Trump, man. Very cruel, as you could already see with the ICE raids, sending innocent people to Guantanamo Bay, to Sikot, and now you've got this, man. So see, none of you Israelites are safe, man. Y'all was laughing and scoffing, talking about, oh, I'm an American citizen. Well, guess what, man? It's not gonna matter, man. Cause Donald Trump gonna fuck you up either way, man. All right, that's that cruel Lord. It says, and a fierce king shall rule over them, saith the Lord, Yahweh of hosts. All right? And it's gonna come down with that great wrath, man. All right? Let's get Revelation 12 and 12. It says, therefore rejoice ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe, which means destruction, to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. For the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath. Right? Who's the devil? Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. He's going to come down unto you, having great wrath. Why? Because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. He knows he has a short time, man. He sees the chariots. He knows Yahushua is on his way. Okay? And so what does Esau want to do? He wants to get his New World Order up and running. He wants to get his MOTB mandated ASAP as soon as possible. And they know they have to have chaos in order to justify the mandation thereof. Okay? So that's what they're setting up, man. All right? They set it up so the tariffs crash the economy, man, so that they could set you people up to uprise. And now they're setting up the police and military force to stop your uprise, okay, and ultimately mandate the MOTB. You see, this is all happening very quick. Things are going to speed up, man. All right, they're saying soon, what, within weeks, the shelves are going to be empty. All right, that's going to cause panic, man. All right, people already turn into a life of crime. Imagine how much worse it's going to get, man. All right, when people start starving out, these jobs start laying off more and more. Remember, all these products come from China. They depend on things that come from China, these different factories and whatever. Production's going to slow down. They're going to do more cuts, more layoffs. All right. Hey, the end is nigh, man. Yahushua is coming back very soon, man. All right. All this stuff is right at the door, man. It says Amos 8, verse 11. Behold, the days come, saith the Lord, Yahweh Bahashem Yahushua, that I will send a famine in the land. Okay, not a famine of bread, nor a thirst for water, but of hearing the words of Yahweh Bahashem Yahushua. Okay, so right now, we're still bringing these videos out. All right, the brothers are still out there in the highways and byways pushing his truth. Okay, we're teaching and preaching. So you hear the voice of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua right now. Okay, but what's going to happen very soon, okay, this shit's going to go to hell. All this chaos is going to ensue. All right, this military and police is going to be out there ready to throw you, lock you up. All right. Not just the police you got to worry about. You got to worry about these criminals out here. They're going to be out here beating down people's doors. There's going to be shootouts on the street. People beating each other with baseball bats, pipes. All out chaos, man. So the prophets aren't going to be out there on the street, man. Right? And eventually these videos won't be going out either, man. That's the famine of the word. Okay, the word of what? The word of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. Okay, so right now is the time to repent, Yasharallah, while you still can, while these videos are going out. But it's going to come a time very soon where you will not be able to repent. And it's going to be judgment day. It's going to be judgment day for you scoffers, man. And you're going to have a horrible time. So right now is the time to stop scoffing, humble down, repent, and turn back to your heritage. All right, if you're a so-called Negro, Latino, Native American Indian, you are the true children of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. Okay, Yahushua came and died for us only for us to come back to be saved from our enemies, man. These other nations, these Edomites that got us at the bottom of society, okay, got us fighting for, eventually they're going to have us fighting for food and bread and water. All right, those of us in this truth, we're not going to worry about it. We're not going to be out there in the midst of that. Okay, we're going to trust in Yahweh Shemel Shai to protect us, man, to give us food, to give us water. All right, and to protect us from Esau and you 2/3, man. And ultimately, he's going to raise us up with that spiritual power. That standard will be lifted during this time of Jacob's trouble. All right, then everybody's going to know who the men of the Lord are, man. Because right now, y'all debating this shit, you know, when clearly we're bringing out the 100% truth. All right, but when all this stuff happens, there's not going to be a doubt in your mind that the men of the Lord were right here all along, man. Lord willing, I'll be of the elect. Okay, everybody's going to know who we are. All right, so yeah, man, stay circumspect, Yasharallah. Keep your head on a spiritual swivel. Okay, and keep the faith, keep pushing, keep believing, keep fighting to the end, baby. So with that, I want to give all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rachakwarash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone that taught me this truth. And a sincere shalom to all the hopeful elect out there. Shalom wa abad babal. Shalom.